Hey everybody, so in this video, I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of the new Stig Viewer tool. I've done a previous video where I go into depth on Stig Viewer and how to Stig, but in this video, I'm just going to give you a brief introduction about the new tool's features. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is go to the DoD Cyber Exchange. This is public, so you're able to access this page without a CAC, but there are some sections here where you do need a CAC to actually access it, like training and such. But since we're not touching any of those, no need to authenticate. All you need to do is just access the public site. Once you get to the public site, we'll go ahead and scroll down. You'll see that they've got the Stig library compilations here. They've got the Stig viewer tools. So if you click here, what it'll do, all right, so you have the compilations there, and then we'll go ahead and scroll down here. You've got the Stig Viewer 3.3. So the Stig Viewer 3.3, it's the newer one. And the way we can download it is if you have a Windows machine, download the Win64 version. If you're trying to install the setup for it, so the MSI package, you can install the MSI package as well. It's an easier way of setting it up. And here's the one for Linux, okay? And then they've got the Windows 64. So we'll go ahead and download the Win64 version. Once you do that, you'll see it downloading in the upper right-hand corner. Next thing we're gonna do is get the compilation here. So in order to do that, we'll click on the Stig library compilation. And then here you can see the compilation. If we click here, I'll download it. And what this is a compilation of all the Stigs in one zip file. And so once you've downloaded that, just go ahead and go to your downloads folder. I've already done this for time's sake. Do take in mind that these are pretty large files. So if you've got some network latency, it might take a little bit longer for you. But here we've got the Stig viewer. And what I'll do is I'll just right click and then you could open up with rin rar and you could just extract the files here. So why don't we just extract the files here? And it's going to ask you to, it's going to ask you again if you want to install, you want to extract the files here, and then you click yes. And you can see here it's now extracting all the files, and the files are in here. All right, now you've got your Stig Viewer 3 exe, so we're just going to go ahead and click on that, and it should open it up. You can see it's now loading the Stig Viewer, and you can click here for the Stig Viewer. All right, so next thing we want to do is we want to actually add the compilation that we have. So this is the compilation zip. Actually, this one is it's the library. So SRGs and Stigs. So the difference between the SRG is security requirements, and then you have your security technical implementation guide, right? So both of those are different, and you can see the difference once we actually import them. So in order to import them, you just click on add to Stig library, or you could open Stig, but we'll go ahead and add to Stig library. And then I'll just go to location. Okay, go to location. All right. So now you can see here I'm at the location. I'll just click on the library, click load, and it's now going to begin loading all the Stigs. And once it's loaded them all, then I'll be able to actually parse through them and see all of the Stigs. This is really helpful, especially since the older version of the tool doesn't have some of the capabilities that the newer tool has, and you'll see exactly what I mean in a little bit. Give this a second. If you're using a work computer, do note that group policies can prevent you from opening the exe, and in that case, you may want to look further into how you're able to download that and actually utilize it. Um, but here is Stig library. So now you've got all the Stigs imported, and you can take a look at any of them. Let's take a look at the Windows Stig. So they got Microsoft Windows. We'll click on that, and now you can see it's giving me all the information. Now the cool thing about this, and why don't we make the screen a little bit more smaller, zoomed in, so you can see a little bit better. All right, just give me 1 sec. I'm just going to adjust the screen here. But the great thing about this is that off to the left, you can see the overview file, and you're able to open the overview file. And let's say you're kind of like unsure if this day is pretty much white and black. If you're using Windows 10, you need to use this one, right? But you've got Stigs like network infrastructure policy. So for the network infrastructure policy, let's say you're not exactly sure, should I implement this or not? You can just type it in here. And this nice thing about this one is you can just type in here and you can quickly see, exit that out. You can quickly see the information that you need to do. So you can see the memorandum, the overview is where you're going to go first, and you're going to just look through this. You can see the network infrastructure policy Stig is required for all DoD administrated machines and all systems connected to the DoD networks. So if it's connected to a network, then this needs to be implemented. All right. And you go through it and find more details. You got the revision history here. Look at the changes that have been made, the README file, which just tells you a little bit about the Stigs formats. And then you've got the individual Stigs that you have to apply. And in Stigs, you've got your group ID, severity. Cat 1 is the most severe. You have Cat 2 and Cat 3s. And you've got your rule ID, which is the identifier for the Stig ID, classification on class. And then you can see we've got information about the Stig here, discussion, check text. And then this is where it gets a little bit more technical, where it's giving you an overview of the Stig, some of the controls that are applicable to this one, and the CCIs that are associated with those controls that are applicable. And here you can see additional information on how you can actually implement the Stigs and such. So this is pretty great. It's pretty easy to see, and you've got all the information here. Let's take a look at one of these. So an intrusion detection and prevention, IDPS sensor must be deployed to monitor the network segments housing web applications and database servers. Attacks can originate within the enclave boundary, hence deploying an IDPS on the network segment hosting web applications and database servers is imperative. The servers are critical resources, and the network segmentation hosting them will receive the most traffic within the enclave. Deploying IDPS on this network promotes defense in depth principles that will enable operations to detect attacks quickly and take corrective actions. And then here says check text, review the topology of the network segments hosting the web application and database servers. If this segment is not being monitored by an IDPS sensor, this is a finding. And then to fix this, implement IDPS strategy to monitor the network segments hosting web applications and database servers. And here are some of the references for the NIST controls, CCIs, and more information that you can follow. So this is pretty great. We'll go ahead and go back over here. You can see they've got some additional information as far as user guides, checking for updates. We'll click on the home button here. You've got the applicability guide and the checklist. So let's check the checklist here. And then if you want to add any of these to the checklist, then you could go Windows 10, add it to your checklist. It's loading Stig. And now we should be able to add the following rules. See how this looks. And then here it's got it in checklist format. And it's pretty great. So you can go through it. Go here. You can, after you've done reviewing it, you've got the ability to export it and such. Click back over here. Oh, come on. Oh, nope. All right. I don't see an ability to edit the text like the other Stig viewer. Ah, here we go. Edit checklist. So you click edit checklist, just keep clicking around. You can put your comment in there. So if you're not able to meet the Stig requirements, or maybe you're checking the Stig and you notice it's not compliant, this is where you would input your comment and find any details regarding that Stig and some additional information regarding the host and such. So here you can see the Cat 1s, Cat 2s, and Cat 3s. Again, Cat 1s are the most severe. Those have high severity, Cat 2s and Cat 3s. And so this is a quick overview of the new Stig Viewer tool. If you want a more in-depth analysis on how to utilize it, I can create a video like that, similar to the Stig Viewer, old Stig Viewer tool. I've made a video on that one, but I just found this one to be really cool, neat. You can import that entire library, parse through it pretty easily with the search feature, utilize the checklist just like you did in the old one, import and export just like you did with the old one. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good day. All right, Danny out.